Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are back with Cars Casually in episode we don't know the number of. Who knows? We're going to be hitting 20 soon. We got to figure out what we're going to do when we hit 25. Anyway, we are here, and we've got someone new today who's got a really, really good library of C Magazine behind him. So there. We are here with Chris. We are here with G. We are here with Paulo. And now we have, with his big headphones, Francis. Francis is our tuner and tech guy. He is the guy that annoys me by finding all the cool cars I don't see anymore. They had that really nice wide body Miata. You had an old Escort that looked awesome. And we're talking with him because during this little pandemic we've been going through, people are buying cars. People are buying hobby cars. They're learning how to change their own oil or inflate their own tires. They're learning, in Paulo, in my case, we're learning where the heck the parking brake is on a new Lexus. But no, the people are learning things and they're doing new things. And so we're going to talk to Francis about that. Plus, we're just kind of bringing him in because he's been out of the loop for a while. So we're dragging him back into our world. So Francis, hello and welcome to our little gang.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Hi, Francis.
Hi, Francis.
Hey,
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
So
Nice
Francis,
to have you.
so globally, we've seen, on the car industry side, we've seen a kind of a change in terms of sales. Specialty cars and niche cars are doing fairly well, all things considered. Porsche, for example, is down only 5% for the year versus last year. Lamborghini locally has no cars to sell because they've all been sold. Even the secondary market cars are moving, especially in the more provincial areas. On the enthusiast and hobby side, we're seeing people pick up, for example, two Miata, so it becomes a father and son thing. BMW Motorrad did their best month ever since they opened like 13 years ago. So what are you seeing in the tuner world, Francis? What's going on? Are people doing more stuff? Are people starting new projects? What's going on?
Well, during the start of the pandemic, things really slowed down. I mean, everything with local motors, the absence of local motorsports, no car shows, no car meets, everything slowed down. But as the quarantine kind of loosened up, I mean, since I live within the Banawe area, people have started coming back, You see a lot of cars. More or less what you saw, what was Banawe like before the pandemic is back to normal. I mean,
Really?
the shops, yes, yes, even the surplus shops, they're all back to normal with the overflow of the cars on the sidewalk. It's
Really?
back to normal. It is what it was before.
Interesting.
It's surprising, but good for the industry, though.
It's good for the industry.
Yeah. It's really back with everyone changing head units, changing their horn and everything. It's back to normal. But now it's what was before.
What did you
Like
do?
this ever and traffic.
Okay,
As
when
far
you
as
say that,
Yeah.
when you say that, are you saying that it's in terms of volume that you see on a daily basis, or are you also getting feedback from shops?
Both what I see on a daily basis, and since I have friends there who have shops, I mean, the influx of customers is just regular, even Saturdays, where everything is, really packed. As far as the tuning industry is concerned, it kind of slowed down because of the absence of motorsports. But thanks to that, the off-roading community is getting larger. Since you can go off-road anytime you want, right? I mean,
Yep.
That's
even
true.
with the storm, before Ulysses, there was this Rolly. There was a group of guys who went off-roading. They got stuck during the storm. I mean, talk about
Wait.
adventure. They brought this Prado
Mm-hmm.
LC. The wheels, they were on this parang obstacle. The wheels got off from the ball joint.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, so they had to be rescued. But your Prado, I mean, the wheels
yeah.
separated
Prado's
from the ball
supposed to
joint.
be capable.
Yeah, so they
So
had to be
they-
rescued in the rain, and then the water, and the
Oh
river
my
was
gosh.
getting
Oh.
higher. So it was an
But
adventure,
they-
so to speak.
But I'm assuming these people knew what they were getting into. They knew they were
they
off-roading.
were kind of
in a storm.
amateurish. They're not B-boy Vargas level, of, I mean, they're pretty much amateur, so they had to be
Yeah.
rescued. They had to be towed and stuff. Pero
So they went
as I
alone,
was saying,
you know?
that's the
Yeah.
parang niche that I'm seeing. The off-road crowd. You can go off-roading anytime you want.
It's
With
true.
motorsports, there's no motorsport. What they had drifting last time.
Yeah, they had drift the other day.
Yeah, but aside from that, everything is
Yeah. Everything's
zero.
virtual now in the
Yeah.
motorsport side. Right?
Yeah, even
Locally,
no
at
car
least.
shows even. So there. But there are still people who are tuning. Like
Mm.
for the supercar crowd, I mean, like he's still tuning with his Lamborghini and
Mm-hmm.
the last one I featured the Urus. I mean, who the
Oh.
hell modifies the Urus, man?
Okay.
I mean, so there.
No,
It's alive. The tuning industry is doing well. Coping, I guess. Coping. Even the
No,
shops
that-
are coping. Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
As long as they practice those safety protocols, the plastic barriers and stuff, the
Hmm.
mask and everything. Yeah. It's doing well.
Is it the same crowd, or are you bringing in new people? Are you seeing new enthusiasts come in?
New enthusiasts. I guess there are some, since most of them are not doing anything. So, but
That's very
aside
true.
from the new, but aside from the new enthusiasts, it's the mainstream crowd that comprises mostly of the bulk of the people who are in Banawe. You know,
Mhm.
those people who just want to have their wheels changed, the head units changed for a better one. These are really the bread and butter anyway of the aftermarket industry. The
So, like-
mainstream crowd who bought this new car and wants to have his head unit changed,
Yeah.
it's not really the high end stuff.
Is there
So,
like a no? Is there like a change in the type of uh accessories or aftermarket parts that they get, or pareho pa rin ba?
Well, for the mainstream parts, it's still the same. You have your wheels, you have your sound system, you have your head units. As for the high end, the tuner aftermarket stuff,
Hmm.
it's either can be custom made or in most cases ordered from abroad. Like for
Mm.
example, you have an American car. I mean, you can order almost anything
Mhm.
from headers to a complete exhausts. Even for Japanese cars, there are bolt-on kits still.
Oh, yeah.
Bolt-on kits
Yeah.
available.
And like, what's the
But-
type of car? The type, is there a dominant brand that's being tuned, or or
Well, lately it's been the diesel pickups and SUVs because it's easy to tune. You just have to plug it in the computer and the ECU, and you can reflash
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Instant
Okay.
power gains, instant power and torque gains.
Yep. Ay, yung mga chips.
Diba?
Those chips.
No. Just reflashing the ECU.
Oh, okay. The system.
Instantly you get like 50 horsepower and then a huge
Oh.
increase in torque.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's become easier. I'm saying I can say it's become easier because of the technology of the cars and the availability of parts. Especially with the shift now towards SUVs and
Yeah.
pickups. Yeah, it's easier actually. Unlike before. So,
Okay.
So,
yeah.
when you're talking about reflashing the ECU. Before there were just a handful of people who could do this, right? Are
Yes.
there a lot more now?
Yeah, there's a lot more. Well, it pays to have your ECU reflashed if the guy or tuner has a dyno. Because there are people who does this and does the tuning on the street based on what they feel.
Okay.
So would you be more comfortable, with someone tuning based on what he feels or drives?
And not a lot of
the one
shops
who
have
wants it
dynos.
done? Yeah.
Yeah. That's still
But-
about a handful.
Yeah. So, but it pays to have your ECU flashed in conjunction with the dyno because you have these figures, you have the numbers.
Oh, yeah. You back you up. Yep.
Yeah. And it's actual, and then you have the app parang simulated load. So you can see the parameters on the graph. Like,
Mm.
for example, at 2,500, are you leading out or are you getting rich?
Mm.
I mean, if you do that on the street, you have to do this like several times. Because you're driving and, you're looking at what am I doing on 2,500 RPM? Am I leading out, Unlike the down, you can see the curve. So it's more accurate.
Yep.
So I would advise people who wants to do a reflash to do it on a shop with a dyno. Or people, you can rent a dyno and have it reflash there.
Mhm.
That's true.
It's
Yeah.
You have the numbers to back it up. Unlike the seat of the pants old school style testing.
Are people more open to doing the whole reflash nowadays?
Yeah, especially with the new breed of SUVs and pickups. There's
There's a
even
lot of
Sorry.
untapped
before the
potential.
pandemic even started, the drag racing class series in Clark, they have a diesel class already.
Oh,
You see
okay.
this Monteros, the pickups battling it out
Wow.
Really?
Drag
with
racing.
plumes of black smoke at the back.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
This-
that's how popular it is. They really
Instead of
want
white,
might
it's
be-
black now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's black now.
Mm.
I have a question. This might be a new question, but what does reflash mean?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
no. Clearly,
Yeah, it's
we
good. It's good.
and we've been learning this.
Yep.
We're having discussions, and sometimes we're not explaining them correctly. So,
Mm.
very good, Paulo. Thank you so much for
Yes,
bringing that up.
yes.
Francis, I'm going to let
Thank you,
you
thank you.
explain it.
You have an today's cars have ECUs, right? You know what an ECU, Paulo, is? It's the brains
Yeah.
of the engine, right?
Yeah. That's
So
right.
it comes with a factory installed program, just like our computers and stuff. Now, like most tuners would say, every engine is different and how you drive is different. So not all engines, let's say your Lexus has a factory rating of, let's say, 170. But when you really put it on a dyno, it really like come out like with mechanical factors involved, the tires and stuff, probably around 150
Mm.
maximum at peak, right? Now, when you do a reflash, you do a baseline first. So let's say it comes out 150, right? And then you see the graph. Depending on which RPM it is, there'll be dips and stuff, which what reflash does is make it into a nice curve or advancing the torque and power levels earlier
Mhm.
or something like that, depending on it. But more or less,
Okay.
you're making the engine more efficient. And by making it more efficient, your 150 will now become, let's say, 180,
Mm.
with an increase in torque as well. So you're making the engine not really naman more powerful. It's making it more efficient.
More efficient.
Yes, because in most cases, the factory tune is rich. Because rich is better than making it lean. Rich is meaning more gasoline.
More gas.
Okay.
Yes. When you say lean, you turn off the gasoline a bit.
More air. Yeah.
Yes. But you have this you have to conform to this stoichiometric ratio, which is like 14.1. So you have to also take that into consideration, which is also displayed on the graph. So anytime it leans out or it reaches out too much, you know what you're doing.
Mm.
So you'll have a more efficient running engine, which in turn is more powerful.
Okay.
But the bottom line there is make it more efficient all throughout the rev range. So
Dude,
in
I'm
doing so,
smiling.
it's
I'm smiling because I think we found a star in Francis.
it's more powerful. So
We
people,
found a
after
star in
they
Francis.
flash, they really get surprised at the increased power levels
Mm.
that the reflash brings. But the best part, you don't have
Okay.
to do anything. I mean, you didn't even
Sure.
buy anything.
Francis, I've
With-
always been apprehensive about reflashing because you're essentially tuning an engine to perform higher than factory spec. Right? So, what does this mean for the longevity of the engine, for the durability?
correct.
I mean,
Yeah.
for the long term.
Yeah. sige.
What are the long term
Yeah.
consequences from doing this?
Yeah. Actually, like in every ECU, there's a fail-safe mechanism. You can't really over-tune it. It's not like a rev limiter or something. Although you can remove the rev limiter. But like every responsible tuner knows, it has its limits also. You don't really make it sagad. Like
But 50
especially if
horsepower is still a lot. to squeeze
but you'd
from
be
an
surprised
engine.
at what a modern diesel engine can do.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, 50 horsepower is just
yeah.
sometimes like just the beginning, the starting point for diesel
What's the-
engines.
What's the
You haven't
most
heard any horror stories about engines
blowing up?
blowing up or
Blowing up?
or dying after
Well-
3 years, dying after
Well,
5 years.
it usually happens on turbocharged engines when the owners want more and they don't have the internal
Okay.
stuff. So it
Yeah,
really blow up. It really won't last. But doing a conservative reflash on a fairly stock engine, I don't see any longevity issues there.
Even if it's a stock turbocharged engine like Subaru Legacy, for example.
Just my car wants
Yes,
to
yes,
reflash.
yes.
You see where I'm going with this, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But with the reflash, I think for turbo or if you want more performance, there's also will be an increase in gasoline consumption.
Oh yeah, of
Because you
course.
Oh,
can't
So I'll
make
go to
anything
3 instead of
faster.
4. Okay.
Because you can't make anything faster without adding gasoline or fuel.
True.
It has to have additional gasoline or fuel. So there might be a slight increase. Well, it also depends on your driving habits.
So
But
wait,
longevity-wise, as long as the tuner knows what it's doing, I don't think you'll have longevity issues.
are these
So why is
brand new
it?
cars?
Yeah, even for brand new cars.
So like, how's the warranty? Are they gonna void
Well,
the
you,
warranty?
Wala. It's void.
well, that's what's nice about the ECU Reflash. The casa will not know you did that.
Oh, okay.
You just plug in the
Okay.
computer, the OBD
Well, now we
port.
know.
No one knows that.
They don't have a dyno. You know?
Yeah.
No, okay,
Yeah,
but what if they?
yeah.
Okay, quick question, Paolo. Do you understand the whole flashing, reflashing thing?
Yeah, now I do.
Okay,
Now I
is
do.
it, Francis, to make it simpler to people that don't know this stuff? Is it kind of like jailbreaking your iPhone?
Yes, you're just changing the
Okay,
Mm.
that's what you're
program.
doing.
Well,
Okay,
it's more like
basically that's it.
upgrading. It's more like upgrading the operating system on your phone.
Okay,
Okay.
there. Okay, and remember that these cars are built kind of for the least common denominator. So they have to be built for. They're built more for the people who will not take care of their cars. So they
Yes.
overbuild all the specs. They overbuild
Yes.
all the tuning. So even if you don't touch a car for a year, it's not going to kill you. That type of a thing.
Okay.
So what the reprogramming of the ECU does is it makes it more along the lines of what you want, which is in a lot of ways what these sport mode, comfort mode things are doing now. Okay, it's the same thing.
Yes.
Before, and we've had this, and it was actually Kevin who said this. You can years ago when we were starting this off, and you tried to start adding things like mufflers, exhaust, and so on. The cars would actually be slower because the computer would sense a problem. Okay, so from there, then they started trying to trick the computer by doing things like adding a little piggyback box
Yes.
that would tell it,
Yep.
ECU.
no, we're actually getting more air than you think we are, that type of a thing.
Yep.
So in reality, the whole reflashing the way it is now is actually smoother because you're not really tricking anything. You're ideally not tricking the sensors anymore like you were before. Okay, it's getting all the right information, so still operating within those parameters. Right. But okay, having said all that, Francis, okay, but what if the authorized dealer plugs in and checks the OBD and sees that your
Your horsepower.
parameters are all different?
Yeah.
Would that would void the warranty if they could prove it? Why are we
I
saying?
guess. But I mean, it will all depend on the owner. But they won't know unless they have to do a comprehensive check on the program of the computer, right?
All right. Or could you
to-
reflash? Could you bring it back to stock before?
Yes. you
We
can.
don't advise this, everybody.
Yes.
What?
Because what the tuner does is he kind of stores a copy of your original program and then replaces that with a totally new program.
Wow, it's a simple.
So your
as that.
original copy, can you still retrieve your original program and put it back, reflash it again to stock, so to speak? Yes,
Just
you
like
could.
wheels and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, which makes it really easier.
Well, that's the thing. You've got these. The problem nowadays is that all the cars are so interconnected that we've heard problems of if you change the subwoofer, you have an engine issue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
For real? No,
Yes.
because they're all integrated, and that's the positive and the
Electronic.
negative. Okay.
Yep. Sensors.
So that's why things like, well, it's just harder to do all this, and then now you've got this thing to try and reflash something. And on one hand, it's an awesome quick change. You're not changing mechanical parts. You're just But on the other hand, you got to worry about what might be the additional effects. So having said that, to me that seems, as long as you know what you're getting into, try it.
Yeah.
Well, compared to European cars, the Japanese cars are more easy to work with. I mean, I know someone who has a BMW, older BMW, who replaced this like bulb to a higher wattage, and the check engine light comes on and everything. That's just a bulb.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean, for Japanese cars, mainstream Japanese cars, I don't see any problem with reflashing.
Hmm.
From SUVs, pickups to cars and everything.
Okay.
So,
Do you think that's going to change? Do you think the Japanese manufacturers are going to end up doing the same thing?
I don't think so. As long as there's an OBD port, because there will always be an OBD port for the diagnostics, right? So as long as it's there, you can really access the ECU. but
But why is
because
it,
otherwise,
why is it more popular with diesel cars, Francis? and
because the
not,
power and
gas-
torque gains
gasoline?
are really impressive after a reflash.
Oh,
Yeah,
more for
Okay.
diesel than with
yes,
regular
more for
gas.
diesel. Also for gas. I mean, like Maynard Civic, we reflashed it before. After that, he was so happy on the. Sorry. He was so
The guinea
happy
pig.
on the highway. He gained
And
more
it goes to
power
the-
now. It was
Yeah.
more economical. He was so happy
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
I
And
feel like
that's a
there's a
Civic.
butt. I feel
I
like
mean,
there's a butt coming. Is there a butt? No. The happy.
No.
Happy. That's it. Happy ending.
Happy ending. Yeah.
Okay.
We just changed his tires last week. He's now running on 18. So, yeah.
Oh, on a Civic. Wow.
Yes.
18?
On a Civic.
Seriously?
Yeah, he has this FD Civic, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the white-
2000.
Yeah.
The white one, right? Yeah. He
Hmm.
was about to buy tires, so he thought, why not buy, upgrade the wheels,
Bigger.
the nine tires.
Yeah.
Right.
So what did he get?
Yeah, a set of 18s. 18-inch wheels and tires.
On an FD.
Yeah, because it's big there. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
your, no.
Yeah.
It looks nice.
Okay,
So-
everyone, just in case you don't know this, Maynard is our motorcycle guy.
Hmm.
So he's hugely into that. He's also a new father, right? So
Yes.
going to 18s in a Civic as a new father, that's interesting. That's kind of like someone who chooses white leather seats with a new baby.
No, it's just a +2. The stock ribs were 16, so you just upgrade to a +2.
That's
Just
Yeah.
that used to be that used to be a big deal. It's no longer. It's now
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, but what you see, it looks like 17s. It doesn't look like 18s on this car because it's big.
Yeah.
It's a full size sedan, right? So
The Civic's the
The
FD
18s.
is big.
yeah, the 18s looks just right for the car. So with the reflash and the 18s, wow. Heather's next. I'm trying to get him to modify his car. So there.
Has he gotten you to ride a motorcycle?
No, that.
Okay, so we're gonna have to talk to him now. So what else has been going on, Francis? You were talking about people changing head units, people changing wheels and tires. So that's
Yeah,
that's
it's a
kind of the
common
upgrade
thing.
market,
Yeah,
right?
it's still
What
a
about
common thing.
what about just I mean, when you would go to Manawa just to find car parts, that's still strong.
Yes,
Just
that's
basic
still strong.
replacement parts.
Yeah, from new replacement parts to surplus parts, they're still there. And they're
Has
still
it been,
doing good.
Has it been harder to get parts these days? Because I'm sure shipment has been choked a bit because of the pandemic.
No naman.
Parts availability have you felt that it's harder to find parts now?
No. In fact, it's getting plenty pa nga. Even aftermarket surplus parts are still plenty. Half cuts even. They're still bringing in Evos, the chop Evos. They still have that. So you can do your own evolution. They still have that. So parts
Do your own
availability,
evolution.
no issues. Yeah, do your own evolution. Yeah, because the Evos are really expensive these days, especially the left-hand drive ones. Yeah,
Oh, really?
minimum 1 million. Yeah, minimum 1 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Which
it's
Evo?
upwards.
Even for the earlier Evos?
yeah.
Yeah, from the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ah,
Mhm.
before.
Okay.
What's your favorite
Because
Evo, guys?
Either the 5 or the
That's
10.
hard.
Either
Yeah.
5 or the 10.
Yeah. Actually,
I
I go
think
with the
the
5
five.
or the 9.
Yeah,
or
I'd
the
say
8.
5. I'd
Yeah.
say
five and a 9.
That's
Everyone's
the-
favorite is the 5.
So what else is going on in the world of France? We saw that they were doing they did the drift series, right? In a track. I've never been to that track, but it seems like it's purpose built within a container yard or something.
Yeah, you just have pylons so the course is interchangeable. Because they just set up pylons to change the course layout. It's just a big flat surface. It's not really a racetrack, but they do away with the pylons and stuff. And I also heard like probably next month they have the 12-hour Kalayaan race, the endurance race. I think they're prepping up for that. The
Kalayaan.
endurance race. I think it's the Kalayaan Cup. It's a 12-hour endurance race. They have that every year.
Yeah.
So they're going to have that again this year. So it's kind of, bringing back local motorsports alive.
Trying to revive it.
Well,
Actually, they've been doing track days anyways, but it's kind of strict. They've been doing track days.
Yeah. So
What
other questions do we have for Francis?
What's the most impressive? What's the most impressive tuner car you've seen this year so far for 2020?
So far,
Yeah, as we close the
far.
year, what's been
I
the
think-
most impressive car this year for you?
I think the Urus. Because who the heck modifies an Urus, man? I
so
mean,
like what is it?
it already has like 600 horsepower, right? I don't know how much.
Something like that.
Mga ganon, diba? Like 600. And then from the 22-inch wheels, it now has 24-inch wheels. And then you lowered the thing and you added body kits to it. I mean, who does that to an Urus?
Okay.
Whoever can, I guess.
You do it because you can.
yeah. But we're waiting for the Lamborghini of Keith. It's supposed to come out this year. I mean, he has this video. He has showing him gutting the rear fenders. Because in order to install the wide body kit, you have to shave away a portion of the stock fenders.
Oh,
So they have this video of
a
this
Lamborghini.
sawing away part of the fender.
Ow.
I mean,
Getting
the top.
stressed just thinking about
Yeah,
it.
I mean, who does that? Who does
That
that?
fender probably cost more than my car.
Yeah, exactly. Mine too. And he rages the whole thing, the whole fender well.
Ouch.
So goodbye to that. There's no going back to stock for that. I mean, it probably won't be a collector car in the future. Who knows? I don't know.
What about on the old school side? What's going on there?
Yeah.
The old school side. Well, lately there have been a lot of barn finds lately. Like they saw this like old Torana somewhere in Locos, I think, and apparently there are a lot of hidden cars tucked away here and there. What else?
Yeah, I remember that.
But what was sad was the cars in Provident Village.
the one that got. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of old school cars that were submerged there. Even Evos. I even saw a picture of Mark II Escort,
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that.
the blue one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
There. So that part of the hobby is also still going strong, the old school thing.
Actually, I follow. I'm part of this group, old school group on Facebook, and there a lot of them have been. They have a lot of project cars. A lot of Toyotas, Mitsubishis, and yeah. So
Yeah, especially with the whole off-road thing, gaining ground.
yeah, no, these are.
There have been renewed interest. Do you remember the old Pajero? The
Yeah.
Patrol Safari. the
Patrol.
box one. Yeah,
Yep.
there's a lot of interest in that car now, and the Fieldmaster Pajero,
Mm,
because those are entry-level four-wheel drives that you can
Yes.
easily
Yes.
buy.
Yep.
You won't be afraid to destroy and stuff. So that's
And the
also
Patrol
gaining
is-
ground.
yeah.
The Patrol, the old school Patrol with the very
Pretty
very huge
indestructible.
engine,
Yeah,
the
I
inline
remember
six,
that.
right? It's
Yep,
like
I
a truck.
remember that.
Has anything
Okay.
surprised you?
Surprise.
About
No, just in general. Anything the last few months?
Besides
yeah,
the
the
Urus.
ownership.
Besides the Urus.
Is there anything in particular na?
Well, I saw a lot of Mark I escorts that have been built. I'm trying to look for them, look for the owners. The one with the Roger Clark flares and the Mexico sticker.
Oh,
the-
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen like 3 of them already. I just saw one today on Facebook with a different, owner, with mini lights and stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, that surprised me because I thought they were just a handful. But they're now coming out the Mark One Escort with the Roger Clark flares.
Mhm.
So
Do you think they're original? Or do you think they were? I mean, original meaning are they old or are they modern?
with the running
homages?
gear,
Yeah.
I think
No,
they're
no.
old.
I guess what I mean is, do you think they were like that 20, 30 years ago, or do you think
No,
that's a more
no.
recent
They're
thing?
newly
Modified
built. They're all
Yeah.
newly built.
Okay, so they were built to spec of the Roger
Yeah.
Clark car, for
The
example.
Yes.
Roger Clark or the
Yes.
Mexico.
Yeah, or the Mexico.
You know, the
Cool.
thing is with the Escorts is that they're great, but they're really, really hard to keep going.
Yeah.
You know,
I've heard of
they
that.
they look awesome, but
Yeah.
they're just a pain. The Japanese cars, honestly, are just way easier.
More efficient,
Yeah.
more reliable. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Gomez just found his. He didn't find his Opel record. He found a Opel record. He's still looking for his old Opel record.
Okay.
And he's gonna
Wow.
build that up.
Wow. That's
And
a
Gerard, we
lot.
still have to do the Galant. We still have to work on my Galant.
Yeah.
Francis,
Yes.
Francis.
let's redo my Galant.
Yes, you have to. And then we have to use it.
Oh, I'm using it now.
Ah,
I
good.
brought it home. I'm using it to deliver things around
Good,
Okay.
good,
what
good,
my
good,
wife
good,
and kids sell.
good, good.
So
Okay.
just
Nice,
like
nice.
I think, just like Chris is doing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
We're doing deliveries. Okay, well, we've been here talking with Francis, and it's been a lot of fun. For one thing, he's Mr. Radio Voice, and he looks like he's actually
Yeah.
in a radio
Studio.
shop.
Radio
So,
booth.
Francis, you're not
Radio
leaving
booth.
anymore.
Yeah.
It's
We're
the
now- we
records
have
for
radio
magazines.
We
Instead
have
of the
now
records,
hooked you
we have
in.
magazines.
We have now hooked you into our little discussion group, so you can't leave anymore. But anyway, so we have been here. We've been talking for a while, ever since we started this, about new cars and new buyers and so on. But we kind of neglected the fact that there's all these old cars going around and all the tuning.
Yep.
And we're very, very happy to hear that Francis, who has his ear on the ground in that industry, is telling us that the tuner side is doing okay. We don't know the graphics or the numbers or anything, but he says that it feels like things are back to normal. And it's not just regular maintenance, it's people who are doing upgrades, people who are changing wheels and tires and head units, people who are doing reflashes to get their trucks and cars a little bit more fun. So that's very, very positive. He says that another key point, he says that the part supply is pretty good. So things are getting back to normal on that side. And that's very, very important because it's not just brand new cars and car shop and dealerships that we need to look at. We need to look at all these small businessmen who need to survive because they're the backbone of the industry. So thank you, Francis, very much for that, man. That was very, very useful. Thank you, everyone else, for jumping in and asking questions because I was at a loss for a while. So thank you. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Paolo. Thank you, Gerard. And thank you, Francis. Oh, man, you're stuck now. You're joining us next week. So,
You're
but
part
no,
of
no.
us.
And,
Yeah,
you're going to be
one of
answering
us.
questions. You're going to be answering questions that we get in the comments. I'm sure we're going to be getting a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to be answering questions just from Paolo. No.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
very, very legit point. We
That's a
keep
good
glossing over the fact that we're talking
Correct.
about things people might not know about. So it's our job to actually
Yeah.
explain that.
Yep.
So anyway, okay, thank you
All
very,
right.
very much, everyone. We've had an awesome time this time. We had, with his very first appearance, Francis Pagliarco, the C tuning guy, who we're going to have on regularly now. Thank you very much. This has been Francis. This has been Chris. This has been Paolo. This has been Gerard. Nix is away for the moment. I'm Carl. Thank you very, very much, everyone. Stay safe, stay kind, and think about reflashes. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.